Hello students, welcome to Well Explained PDF. Today I am here with class 10th biology chapter How do organisms reproduce? Lecture number 2, that is vegetative propagation in plants. In my first lecture we discussed about the asexual reproduction. Okay, now what is vegetative reproduction? It is also a type of asexual reproduction. Why? Because no sex cells or gametes are involved in this. And plants reproduces by their vegetative parts. No reproductive part is there. It reproduces by vegetative parts such as root, stem and leaf to produce new plants. Therefore, this is also a type of asexual reproduction. Now, plants reproduce means this vegetative reproduction takes place by two methods. One is natural and the other one is artificial. Natural method means in nature this vegetative reproduction occurs on its own, whereas in artificial method it is done by the human beings. In natural methods, roots, stems, rhizomes, bulbs, tuber, corms. These all four are stems and leaves are used to produce new plants, whereas in artificial method, cutting, layering, grafting and tissue culture is there. Now coming to natural methods from stems. First of all, we are going to study about the natural methods which takes place with the help of stems. First one is runners. A runner is a slender branch that creeps some distance away from the mother plant on the ground. It is a slender branch. Slender means बहुत ही नाजुक सी ब्रांच होती है जो क्रीप्स मीन्स क्रॉल करती हुई कुछ दूरी तक अपने मदर प्लांट से जाती है एंड वहां पर इट roots itself at the nodes. You know nodes and internodes? Nodes are the part of the stem or a root where the new leaves or the roots arises. तो nodes पर यहाँ पर क्या grow करती हैं? Roots grow करती हैं. Examples of runners are oxalis, grass, vallisneria, etc. These are runners. In oxalis and grass, the horizontal stems will produce new roots at nodes and then shoot grow upwards, forming new plants at frequent intervals. Whereas in chrysanthemum and mint, horizontal stems arises from the base of the erect shoot, come out to form new aerial shoots and it becomes independent plants. Whereas in vallisneria, arched stem which cross over small obstacles develop small plantlets at their nodes. So all these are examples of runners. Next is stolons. Now stolons are also, because these all are stems, so these are lateral slender branches that arise from the base of the stem. You can see this is a stolon, okay, and this is arising from the base of the stem. Stolons initially grow upwards. Starting में ये ऊपर की तरफ grow करते हैं, then they slowly droop down to the ground. These stems root at the nodes, producing buds that soon grow into daughter plants. Examples are wild strawberry and peppermint. Next is offset. An offset is a horizontal branch that arises from the axil of a leaf. Okay. In the case of stolon, it was from the base of a stem and this is arising from the axil of a leaf. This branch is arising. The branch elongates to a certain length. You can see this offset is elongating to a certain length and then produces leaves at the nodes and a cluster of roots fixes it to the ground. You can see these leaves are produced and a cluster of root, it is fixing it to the ground. Example are pistia and water lettuce. Now, some plants have underground stems. अभी तक हमने जो stems पढ़ी थी, they were above the ground. But there are certain plants which have underground stem which help in the reproduction. And these underground stems, they have Stolon to store the food, and they have buds that can grow into new plants. Most common example is of potato. You must have seen, you can see in this potato, this is a tuber of potato. You can see it has eyes. These areas, they are known as eyes. Okay, eyes of the potato. And these eyes have buds inside them which give rise to new plants. The tubers, example is potato. Then in case of bulbs, example onion and garlic. You can see these bulbs. Okay. Then rhizomes, it is also an underground stem. Example ginger, asparagus or water lily. This is, you can see, ginger and turmeric. And this is banana. Okay. And CORM, examples are yum, colocasia, crocus and gladiolus. You can see lots of rhizomes will join to develop new plants. These are known as CORMs. This is gladiolus. You must have seen these flowers in bouquets. Now next is from roots. Some plants like dahlia and sweet potato, they have swollen roots without any shape. These roots are called as tuberous roots. जैसे वो tuberous stem थी potato की, ऐसे ये tuberous roots होती हैं. They are irregular in shape. You can see in this. These roots have small buds which give rise to a new plant when they are planted into a soil. You can see the irregular shaped. These all are tubers of root. That is tuberous roots. Now, this vegetative propagation also takes place naturally from leaves. You must have seen this bryophyllum, this type of plant. It's very common, and you see that from this margin of the leaf, new leaf buds are arising. You can see new leaf buds are arising. Okay, and when these buds drop off from the leaves, they fix themselves to the ground and later grow into a new plant. Now, vegetative propagation by artificial means. Number one is cutting. The stem of the plant is cut and planted in a new pot or soil. Cut stem eventually develop roots and shoots and grow into a new plant. Example is hibiscus and rose. ये बहुत कॉमन मेथड है कटिंग का. आपने घर में भी देखा होगा, आपके मम्मी पापा कर सकते हैं, ये करते होंगे कि जैसे रोज है उसकी एक कटिंग ले ली. यू कैन सी this is a planted potted plant and this is cut from here. This is a, now this has become a cutting. This cutting is put into another pot. After some time it will grow roots and develop into a new plant. Now in stem cutting, one thing is to be taken in account, or it should be noted that it should have some nodes, means from the part from where the leaves can arise. So it should be having nodes. Now the next method is grafting. In grafting what happens, it involves two plants of the same species. ठीक है, दो प्लांट हम पहले सिलेक्ट कर लेते हैं कि हमें किस किस में ग्राफ्टिंग करनी है. ओके, suppose one plant is having very beautiful flowers or very good delicious fruits, so we take the upper part of that, and one plant is having very good root system and also it is a disease resistant, so we take the bottom of that. We cut the above part of one plant and this stem cutting, okay, which we have taken, it is inserted into a groove of the second plant. You can see this is the first plant and this is the second plant and this is having this groove. In this it is inserted and this second plant is rooted to the ground. The cut part of the stem, this above part is known as scion And the second plant to which the scion is attached is called as stalk. So this one is stalk. You can see this is scion and this is stalk. Okay. The grafted areas are then covered with a layer of soil or compost. You can see they are covered with a layer of soil or compost for getting them nutrients. Then they are covered and tied. Okay. Soon the stalk and scion join together to form one plant. Plants with thick woody stem can easily used for grafting. Examples are mango, rose, and many fruit-bearing plants. Clear? You can see in this grafting, this is the upper portion is the scion, the base is stalk, and there is a groove in which this is inserted. Then compost and soil is there, and it is tied. Okay, it is tied also so that the infection, because it is cut part, it can get infection very easily. So this is tied and covered with a polythene bag so that infection may not take place. Now the next one is layering. In this method, a part of the branch in the plant, okay, it is bent down and covered with soil. This is done deliberately. Okay, this, suppose this is a plant and these are the branches. One part of the branch is bent down and covered with the soil. The remaining part of the branch remains above the ground. Okay, remaining part is above the ground. Only a small portion, you can see this small portion is in the soil. Once the root starts developing, new shoots will start to grow from the ground. You can see now the roots and the shoot or the leaves, they both have start growing from the ground. The branch is then cut from the parent plant. और उसके बाद क्या करते हैं, यहाँ से parent plant से इसे cut कर देते हैं. Okay, this is often done in plants having slender branches. Example, jasmine. Now this is the latest technique which is known as tissue culture. This is also known as microculture. In this method, the growing tips of plants are cut and planted in an artificial medium kept inside a conical flask or test tube. Growing tips means root tips, shoot tips, they are taken. Okay. Tips means only few cells are there and they are kept in an artificial medium. A jelly medium is there. The medium provides, this medium contains all the necessary nutrients for the plant growth. Now once the roots develop, they are planted in suitable soil. From here they grow into whole new plants. You can see this few cells are taken, they are kept in the agar medium. This medium is a jelly medium which is known as agar. Okay, agar growth medium containing nutrients and auxins. These are growth hormones. Then samples develop into tiny plants. Then they are planted in compost, and then they are, from here they are transferred to the land and they grow into the whole new plants. You can see this is also tissue culture. Root tip is taken, cells, root culture cells, they form calyces. Calyces means when these cells start dividing, they form a ball of cells. That ball of cell is known as callus. Okay. This then grow from calyces cloned plants. Now, importance of vegetative propagation. Layering or grafting to grow many plants for agricultural purposes. These techniques, layering or grafting, is used to grow many plants for agricultural purposes. It can bear flowers and fruits earlier than those produced from the seeds. जो seed से plant हम लगाते हैं, it takes a lot of time to grow into a tree and then it starts producing flowers or fruits. So this technique of vegetative propagation is more quick so that it can bear flowers and fruits earlier. Such methods also make possible the propagation of plants that have lost the capacity to produce seeds, and all plants produced are genetically similar enough to the parent plant. These are advantages of vegetative propagation. Importance of vegetative propagation and advantages is one and the same thing. Vegetative propagation is very useful for plant growers as they can get large quantities of new plants in short time. The newly reproduced plants have the exact characteristics as that of their parent plants. It is easy to produce new varieties of plants with required characteristics as we have done in grafting. We have taken taken two plants and then we joined them. So they will have new characteristics, new variety. The vegetative plant grow faster than the plants grown from seeds and they need less attention during early stages of growth. Means when they are in seedling बना छोटे छोटे plants हैं तो उस टाइम पे उसको बहुत ज़्यादा attention की ज़रूरत होती है. But अगर vegetatively अगर हम किसी plant को grow कर रहे हैं तो they need less attention in comparison to those. Now fruits without seeds such as banana, pineapple, disease and drought resistant varieties plants they are grown using this method. Means fruits जिनमें seeds हैं ही नहीं तो वो grow कैसे करेंगे, है ना? और seeds हैं but they are not viable, means they have no capability of reproducing. Then those type of varieties they can be grown using this method. That's all for this lecture. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.